if I may, first congratulate the Premier and let her know I'm wearing a pantsuit in her honour today. The women in this chamber are allowed to do that. My question is to the Premier, Speaker. On September 25th, you told this chamber that the opposition had all the documents pertaining to the cancelled gas plants. Your House Leader told us we had the documents. Your Community Safety Minister told us we had the documents. Your new Minister of Energy told us we had the documents. But the OPA proved that we didn't. They engaged in an elaborate scheme of hide and seek to withhold documents from this side of the Assembly, Speaker. And now this Premier is paying lip service to the very transparency that she told us she was going to give us with the Select Committee. There must be explosive information in those documents. So my question, will she cut the strings that are attached to her promise and her commitment? Will she release the documents? And will she tell us what she knew when she knew it with respect to these cancelled gas plants?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At any particular moment, when I have stood in this legislature or I have stood in public and I have made a statement about what I know or what I don't know, I have told the truth. The truth that as I understand it. I have honestly given all the information that I have. And, Mr. Speaker, I have said that I will appear before the committee if I am called on. Mr. Speaker, we have said repeatedly that the decisions that were made early on, I have said, Mr. Speaker, that I regret that we had not been able to make a different decision at the front end of that decision around the placement of the gas plants. I regret that that process was not better leading up to the placement of those gas plants. But, Mr. Speaker, I have also said
the member from Renfrew, come to order, second time.
Any questions that the opposition is asking, we are going to do everything in our power to provide the answers to those questions, to provide the documents that they're asking for. We've said that we will do that. That's why I offered a select committee, Mr. Speaker. They've taken another path.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Speaker, if she wanted to provide the documents, she'd do that right now. If she wanted to provide transparency, she'd have that select committee struck this week. If she cared about telling Ontarians the truth, she'd do it right now. But she hasn't. There are 5 indisputable facts. This member, this Premier, was a Liberal MPP for 9 years. For 7 years, she sat in the McGuinty cabinet. She rose quickly to become the campaign chair of the campaign team that decided to cancel those power plants to a cost of $1 billion to our taxpayers, and she handpicked the biggest beneficiary of that cancelled power plant, made him her finance minister, sat him beside her, and Mr. Speaker, that's not all. She came to this Assembly telling us she'd work with us, and now all we see is further obstruction. Will she cut the strings for that select committee? Will she call it this week? And will we get the answer to know what she knew when she knew it, so Ontarians can finally put this issue to bed?
Be seated, please.
Don't shout.
Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I have every faith in our House Leader's ability to negotiate the waters of this discussion. But because this is the first day in the legislature and because these questions are coming at me today, Mr. Speaker, I want to establish my approach to this, which has been to say from the beginning that I am committed to being open and transparent, Mr. Speaker. I am committed to providing the information, the documents. That's why I asked the Auditor General to look at both cases. That's why we offered to select a committee, Mr. Speaker. That's why I said I would appear before the committee. I will do everything in my power. But, Mr. Speaker, we cannot do that alone. We have to have a partner to work with, and the opposition has to make choices that will allow us to get to the bottom of the questions that they're asking. If they really want the information, Mr. Speaker, if they really want the information, then they need to provide the opportunities for that information to come out. They've made a choice. It's not a choice that I understand. I thought that they would have wanted to have a select committee, Mr. Speaker, but they've made another choice, and I don't think having redundancy is valuable. They've made a choice, and so they will.
Thank you.